All right, so Reggie, the Front Row Report. It is October, and I have Dave from Sidewalk Prophets. Man, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. I've been looking forward to this for a while now.
Can I tell you this, that October in Indiana is maybe the greatest thing, like, outside of Jesus himself. Like, I grew up in Terre Haute, and I can't tell you how much I miss the Covered Bridge Festival. I want to go so bad right now. Nice. But I'm in Nashville, and tomorrow I'm in Maryland, so that looks like it's not going to happen. But so thanks for having me, Reggie. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. October in Indiana, it just has a smell to it and a feel to it.
It does.
And it feels. I was walking because when I'm not doing all the music stuff, I work in an assisted living home in Indianapolis. I was walking out from work last night, and it just felt good, you know.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is, and in Nashville that doesn't come until like right at Halloween. Like it starts to really get beautiful and perfect, and it's almost a little too late for me. Like I love it. I miss it. You know, being away from Indiana, I miss October. That's for sure. But here we are. You know, I'm honored that you're experiencing it, and hopefully it'll come to Nashville soon.
Well, the good news is you're going to be in Indiana on the 27th.
That's right.
And the 1st.
Coming up soon.
And there's no shows in between those two shows, so you'll probably be here for about 4 or 5 days, it looks like. So that's good.
That'll be perfect. So, that will be perfect.
We're looking forward to having you here, man. This isn't the first time this year you've been here, man. You were here back in January with Winter Jam. I was at that show in Fort. My fiance and I were at that show in Fort Wayne, and this will be, I think, the 4th or 5th time I've seen you guys.
Sweet.
And so I'm no stranger to the Sidewalk Prophets show. And
well, thanks for keeping coming out.
Yeah, it's always it's just always fun. You know, I've seen you on Winter Jam a couple times. I've seen you on the Rock and Worship Road Show last year.
Yeah.
And you know, like you said, you're from Terre Haute. Is there something special about the Indiana shows for you personally? Put anything extra?
Yeah, there really is. I really do think that, you know, when I get to go back to Indiana, there's just something about it. It's really fun to play in front of people. You know, it's also the most nerve-wracking. When your parents come, it's okay. Like, I love Mom. She's going to love me even if I fall on stage and don't hit the notes. But when your like best friends show up and your friends from high school and college, you're like, oh man, I better step it up because you know they're gonna let me have it if I don't do a good job. But that being said, I also think, you know, playing amongst family and friends, there's just something about it, and you start to realize that, you know, all the people surrounding you start to get to know them more and more, and you start to realize that we all are brothers and sisters in Christ. But when I go home to Indiana, I can really just feel that family atmosphere in the air, and it's just always a good time up in Fort Wayne and Indianapolis too. I got my Colt shorts on, so nice. We can talk about things that, you know, we can talk about the best football team on the planet together and feel a kinship there too. So
big game coming up. Peyton,
it is.
Peyton's coming.
It
back.
Is, man.
So
I know, and I'm conflicted because of Ursay's big mouth. And that being said, I really do. It feels so good to know that if the Colts lose, that Peyton will probably still win. And, you know, and that's you know, no matter what. You know, I got somebody to root for because I really do think Peyton's done so much for Indiana, and he's a very classy individual, and I just hope that, you know, the face that he puts on and the person he is in front of the camera is the same person he is, you know, off screen, because, man, he seems like such a classy guy, and it was an honor. You know, he's still my favorite player of all time. So
he has done a lot. He has done a lot. I live right next to the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital here. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. So, but man, you guys are on the Into the Light tour with Matthew Weston.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Winter Jam reunion, kind of.
It is. No, it totally is. On the very last day of Winter Jam, we made a commercial for the tour, and it was Matthew West came to our dressing room and knocked on the door, and he's like, hey, you want to go on tour with me? And we're like, yeah, let's do it. Then he knocked on Jason's door on Winter Jam, and he said, hey, you want to go on tour? And Jason was like, yeah, let's make it happen. Then he knocked on Toby Mac's door, and then Toby Mac just slammed the door in his face. But
really?
In love, in brotherhood. Yeah, that's the commercial, and it's so funny. Okay. We wish Toby was on tour with us.
That'd be cool.
But no, he did it set up, you know. But
okay.
But he goes. What was funny is Toby slammed the door, and then he opens it again and says, hey, is Jason Castro on that tour? And then Matt West says, yeah, he is. And he goes, oh, then definitely not. And he shuts the door again. It made us laugh.
I've got to look for that commercial here now. When we get off.
Yeah, I don't even know. I haven't even seen it online, but we had so much fun making it. Hopefully it's out there somewhere.
It's gotta be. That is awesome, man.
Yeah.
How's the tour going so far? I mean, how is it matched up to other tours that you've done?
Matthew West brings out his family on the tour, and Joe West, his dad, is a pastor that has retired and now goes out on the road and pastors us, and he said it best. He said he wanted it to be the Super Bowl of tours spiritually, and I love that and literally every day we have devotions. Every Sunday we come together and have church, and we're also going through a book called The Pursuit of God by Alfred Tozer, and that book is intense, man. Talk about stretching your faith and making you realize that how desperately you need Jesus, and I love it. And having his family on tour, and it really does make it feel like a family atmosphere. There's no ego going on. Everybody loves each other and loves each other well, and I really do feel like these are my friends, man. These are my dear friends, and they're even more than that. And I'm blessed to be on the road with Matthew. I love him. He's got such a heart for Jesus and for people that are struggling. We go to teen challenge centers all over the country, and get to talk to them and start to realize, man, those are the people fighting the good fight, and they get you prepared for the show at night, knowing who you're going to be speaking to, and that you're talking to people that are just wanting some Jesus, that are desperate for hope. And it's such an honor to be able to sing and hopefully turn people's eyes to hope. And man, yeah, it's been an amazing tour. And Jason Castro is the most laid back, amazing dude. Really? We've been on tour with him 4 times this year, and we're doing it again. We're going on a Christmas tour with him. So nice. 5 tours with Jason Castro in 1 year. It makes me laugh. But man, I love that guy. Thank goodness he's not a jerk.
I was going to say, it's got to be great when you've got a tour where everyone's nice and down to earth and no one's got egos.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the Christian industry, it happens sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely does. But yeah, this tour is definitely not one of them. We're so blessed with all the people surrounding us on this tour.
Awesome, man. I can't wait to see it, dude. Like, unfortunately, I missed Jason at Winter Jam. I got there a little late, so I wasn't able to catch him. I was so mad. But looking forward.
He'll blow your mind.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing him on this one, then seeing you and Matthew. I just saw Matthew at Spirit Song with Petra.
Okay, cool.
With Petra and some other bands, and then looking forward to seeing the whole show this time around again. Just always, none of you guys ever disappoint live, and you can just tell that the faith and the spirituality and the heart and passion is definitely there, which is always good to see.
Thank you.
But the new album, I wouldn't say new, it came out last year, but Live Like That. Let's talk about the music, man. It's just yet another success for you guys. It just seems like everything you put out, the fans love.
Yeah, that's God. Yeah. When we sat down to write the album Live Like That, we had, it was that you got to overcome that sophomore slump. And I don't think we were aware of it. I think I forgot about it until after we were done writing. And then I was like, well, I hope these are good enough. And lo and behold, man, God showed up in a mighty way once again. Our song Live Like That, we were up for Song of the Year at the Doves, and I couldn't believe it because we were up against Big Daddy Wee's Redeemed and Matt Redman's 10,000 Reasons, and just to be mentioned in the same breath, Matt West's Forgiveness, like those are songs that literally changed my heart this year, and man, just to be in that category was incredible. But that being said, man, just on the album as a whole, we wanted to put our personality on it and have a lot of fun making it, and we definitely did. And I think that people are resonating with that heart of just, hey, this is what God's been speaking into our lives, and we know that it's going to translate because it's the word of Jesus. And it seems like everywhere we turn, man, people are desperate for that hope, but also are grateful that God keeps showing up in mighty ways. So
So do you guys pay attention? Obviously, most of the stuff you guys put out, it charts well, it gets critically reviewed well. The bands love it. Is that something you guys really pay attention to, or really?
Man, we try not to. I'll be completely honest though. The other day we just released a Christmas album, and I read a review, and it was a sparkling review, and the guy was like, "Man, great. I wish that the traditional songs had better lyrics," and he was giving Holly Jolly Christmas a hard time. And I was like, "Are you serious? Like, Holly Jolly Christmas, like, that's a classic. If you don't like the lyrics, so be it." But then he was talking about the best part being the brand new songs that we recorded for it, and he loved our rendition of Silent Night, and then he gave it 3 stars out of 5. And I was like, "What?" And that, you get angry, and I called Ben, not just a vet, and he was like, "Dude, don't even get caught up in that." But you do when it's like, this is your baby, and you had fun making it. And it's a Christmas album. You're supposed to be dancing to Holly Jolly Christmas, not critically, thinking about the lyrics. Yeah, exactly. But that being said, like, you try your best to realize that critics, most of the time, critics are jerks. And I think that if you're not careful and you're so critical of others, like a movie, there was somebody that put together that movie that put their heart out on a film, and if you just go and trash it, it's pretty disrespectful. And now I realize, if you've ever seen the movie Ratatouille, where it's all about food critics, I realize how true that movie is, and how it cuts right to the core. Like, there's just these mean people that are out there on YouTube always, if you put a video on YouTube and you declare your heart and soul, you're going to find some jerk down there that's going to say cuss words or whatever they do on, whatever they're going to do on YouTube. He's going to try to tear you down, and that's just the world that we live in. And I think we always, the charts are great, whatever they, it gets people excited about things, but that's all it is. When you get award shows and all that, what it is to me is celebrating the fact that that you're walking the right path, and even if our song doesn't get up in the top 20 or get in the top 500, it doesn't matter if one person can come up to you and say, "Listen, this song meant this to me." That's where it is. Like, God said this to me because I heard this song. There is where you need to find your hope. And at the autograph table, when people share their hearts and say, David, I'm a survivor of cancer, and words I would say, "Be strong in the Lord," that was my cry all of the days that I fought. Talk about getting goosebumps, and talk about writing songs for a reason. I don't know how secular artists do it, because where does that hope come from? Where does the change come from in life? And there are a lot of people that are writing a lot of positive songs and a lot of great messages, but man, when somebody can come up to you and say, "God spoke to me, and He changed my life, and I'm dedicating my life to Him now," like, there is your reward. There is, and you don't get many of them on this earth, that's for sure. But when God can say, here's just one person and it's music. That's what blows my mind. We're just making music, but God can take that and transform it and multiply it. And man, how blessed we are to be serving at the feet of the King of Kings.
Well, I do think that music is one of the most powerful instruments
we have. It is,
because there's so many times where you'll just be down in the dumps, you're just having the worst day ever. You're maybe really ticked off at something, just really angry, and everybody has at least one song to listen to when they're really angry and upset. They have one song they listen to that cheers them up, or their party dancing music, stuff like that to celebrate with. And it's amazing how many songs that I know for me personally have just maybe helped me through something that was a really tough time in my life, or
man,
and it's sometimes
that is what.
Yeah. I think,
and that, even in the Bible, that's what when David couldn't figure out words to describe God, he would throw down psalms and songs, and when they couldn't describe God and properly, they would sing. And it just goes to show what a fine gifts He's given us, and we need to be very responsible and careful with it. That's for sure. Because on those angry days, I've definitely listened to angry songs and honked at people in my car angrily, and you know what I'm saying? You can multiply it. Yeah, you can either multiply your feelings or overcome them. And you got to be careful, but it's true. Music is a powerful tool.
Yeah, it's got to be surreal when somebody comes to you and tells you something that you personally wrote. changed their life, affected them in some way. That, to me, that's a surreal feeling. I mean, obviously, I've had that happen to me.
But and you know, it's a lot of times you write it for this person or because this person inspired you. And you know, my life is a small little box. I'm finding out, and I'm blessed. You know, I'm blessed to live in that box. But man, there are so many things that are so much bigger. And you know, literally, that young man that came up and told me that he overcame cancer, and you know, words I would say was his song. I wrote words I would say about my granddad who passed away, and he was an amazing man that overcame a lot in his life and showed me what true love was. But I never thought that somebody with cancer would be singing that song and finding strength, that God would use it in that way. And man, talk about humbling and honoring at the same time, man. It's just an amazing God that we serve.
Yeah, and touching on another, you know, very, you know, I guess serious subject, but Sidewalk Prophets, you're not just a band, you're a ministry, and that's how I think all Christian artists should be. But how is the popularity and the success you guys have achieved so far in your career, and I guess in the somewhat short career you guys have had so far? You're kind of still in the beginning stages, but how has it affected the ministry of Sidewalk Prophets?
You know, I think that it's allowed us to you know, grow and reach even more people, but also at the same time, it's allowed us to grow up as men. I think that we started to realize, you know, when we were missing church on Sundays, there are so many Sundays that we missed church and continue to. I think I was only home in Nashville five Sundays last year out of the entire, you know, 52 that were available or whatever it was. So it's hard to stay spiritually on fire, I guess. And I mean, every day we're going out and speaking about God, and you know, I try every day to stay in the Word and pray. Like, those quiet times are so important. But it's also reminded us as a ministry, you know, that we need to strengthen each other. And so we've been going through books together. We went through Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, and now we're working on Alfred Tozer's The Pursuit of God. And on top of it, you know, we definitely pray over each other and spend time in the Word together as well. And I think that we're starting to realize that Tozer says this. He says there's a seat inside of your heart, and I picture it as this little throne in the middle of your heart. And there's so many times when things will sit upon it that aren't Jesus. And, you know, for Abraham, it was Isaac. Isaac sat on that throne, and God had to get rid of that. That was his throne. And for you, it might be the football team that you watch on Sunday. It might be the Colts. It might, you know, you don't know what honestly could take it could be your children, which is, you know, a great thing. Children are amazing, and they're you know, my dad, you know, loves me so much. I can see that in his heart. But if God is at the center, then it's not right. And so I think that as a band, we started to realize that we need to look at our own hearts and see what's at the center of it. You know, is it in our families that we're missing on the road? Is it spending time playing video games? Anything can come and fight for the right to sit upon that chair. And we just always want to make sure that we dedicate ourselves to putting Jesus at the center of it.
Okay, cool. And one thing that I really, really love about tours like Winter Jam and Rock and Worship Roadshow is that it's very, very ministry based. From what I can tell, I haven't seen the backstage part of it, but from just sitting and watching, it's very ministry based. And from what I've heard, you know, there's jam church on Sundays where a lot of the artists get together, have church and praise and worship. How have tours like those that you've been a part of, because you've done a lot of those so far, how have those changed, you know, affected your view of the Christian touring industry, and what have you taken from them and put into your tours? So since you've been,
you know, I really think that Winter Jam is successful for a reason, and the reason it's successful is because God is there. Like, the Holy Spirit travels with us when we're on Winter Jam, and you can feel it in the air. And there's definitely, you know, there definitely are some things that are to be overcome when you have that many people in that small of time frame and that many, you know, opportunities to share in that many different ways. But that being said, we come together for church, and I really do think that having Pastor Bobby Joyner out there, he's a New Songs pastor, he literally is there just to walk around and love on the people that are coming to the concert, and to pray with you and love on you, and make sure that, you know, if there's anything, if there's an issue, if there's something in your life you don't want other people to know about, but you need to get it out, like, that's why Bobby's there. And to have that kind of love walking around, and to have that kind of trust and hope walking around is a powerful thing. And I think New Song realized that if we're going to undertake such a big and huge opportunity like Winter Jam, and if it's going to be fruitful, then we better make sure that Jesus is being glorified every step of the way. And I can't tell you enough how much those guys have showered, you know, their love upon us and shown us what it's like to be a band that loves Jesus. And at the center of it is New Song, but it's contagious. Toby Mac was out on the last one with us, and he said that his band's the entire goal of the tour for him was to inject the tour with love. That's what he said. He said when he got off the bus, you know, him and his band, they wanted just to have a good time. They brought out cornhole boards, and we played cornhole, you know, and just had fun together. We had a ping pong tournament, you know, and you know, sports was one way that Toby, that's one of his love languages. He gets competitive, but, you know, him and his band, man, we just had a blast just hanging out. And we started to think that we were, you know, as cool as Toby Mac, which is not possible. But no, in all honesty, literally, he made you feel as cool as him. And the reason he's cool is because he doesn't care, man. He's going to go out there and worship Jesus in his own unique and awesome way, and his band is going to just do the same thing. You can't, dude, how does this guy that's so cool have such a cool band full of, you know, every last one of them would take time to sit with you and have lunch and talk about life and really get to know you and go bowling with you. You know, there were days when Chris August and Talkbox from Toby Mac's band and I went bowling, you know, a couple of days on the road. And that's so much fun, man, just to be a real person. And I think that's why Winter Jam and them become so successful. It's because the Holy Spirit's there, man.
And I mean, you make so many relationships with so many artists and bands that maybe you haven't known. That tours like the Into the Light tour came, you know, that lineup came from Winter Jam. And
Matthew and I, we had written a song together, Love, 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 for our latest album, and we had a lot of fun doing it. But when you got to go on the road with Matthew, you start to get to know his heart, and you start to get to know the real person that you know that he is, and how much he really, you know, does for the, you know, going out to teen challenge centers and letting people know that they have hope. And he's amazing, man. And then Jason, we've literally been out with Jason so many times this year, and praise God that he is the man he is. He's such a good dude. Laid back, loves his wife and his beautiful daughter, and just an amazing voice. And man, I just love Jason with all my heart too, man. He's my brother, so.
Awesome, and you know, like you said earlier, thank God he's a good guy, because when you spend pretty much the entire year with a guy, if he's not a nice guy.
We've been on buses with jerks, and it's not fun. So,
yeah. I mean, on the road traveling with them, you know, can be tough, you know.
And he's on our bus the whole time, and what a great. He's terrible at video games.
Really,
but he tries so hard. Yeah, he plays FIFA soccer. We have FIFA soccer game, and we also have Madden. And I think he's worse at Madden than he is at soccer. But it's so funny. Like, he tries so hard, and he'll get so frustrated. But then he'll get back up and try it again and again and again. So he's probably getting good, but we're also getting good alongside him, so that he never quite catches up.
So who is your Madden team? Who is Sidewalk Prophets' Madden team of choice?
Oh man, we each have our own. Cal's from Illinois, so he's a Bears guy. But he doesn't like playing Madden. He's a FIFA guy. But the FIFA fans, Sean, our lead guitarist, is a Lions fan, and he always seems to choose. He likes the running quarterbacks like Seattle and San Francisco. And I always try to be the Colts. But the guys get mad because I start to realize, like, who's strong, and, like, I'll put, like, Reggie Wayne in the slot and scare everybody. But to be honest, it's when all's said and done, you know, I can't be the Patriots because I can't stand them. But it always ends up being a Broncos-Patriots matchup somehow, and because I want Peyton to beat Tom Brady every time. So,
nice. So you got Lions fans and Bears fans on the road, man. Football season's got to be
fun.
A rivalry.
And a Steelers fan. Our drummer's Steelers fan. So we got a lot of people. We're all Big Ten fans, and we each have. I'm IU. Ben's Michigan State, Cal's Illinois, Sean's Michigan, and then Justin's Penn State.
Oh, nice.
So we're happy because we don't have an Ohio State fan in our band.
Well, see, I'm from Iowa, so Iowa and Ohio State play tomorrow. So
yeah, all right, there you go.
It's not a good year. So.
Yeah, it hasn't been. No, it hasn't. Well, I'm an Indiana fan, so it's never been a good year. So,
well, they beat Indiana State though, so I mean, but
yeah, I know, but I'm from Terre Haute, so that even hurt even worse.
I went to Indiana State, so every year hurts.
There you go.
So.
Exactly. Oh man, I think there was an article that said in the paper. I think it was USA Today that said at least your football team's not as bad as this. And it was Indiana State, and I said, that is my football team. You know, like, that's so sad.
I went
they had those, 4 years of a winless season.
I wrote for the Statesman. I had to cover that football team. I wrote for the Statesman there. It was, football season was rough.
You wrote for Tribune Star?
I wrote for the Indiana Statesman, the ISU paper.
Okay.
So
cool, man.
Yeah, man. So, the last thing I wanted to touch on, man, at Winter Jam this year, man, you, I can't remember what song it was. It might have been Love, Love, Love. You had one of the videos had a Lego Sidewalk Prophets in it.
Yeah.
And it was the coolest thing ever, man. How did that come up?
I'll tell you, we are, we're a band that loves Legos, and we like to cut loose and have fun, and sometimes be nerdy. Well, we were on a bus with Lecrae on the Rock and Worship Roadshow, and if you know Lecrae, he and Toby Mac are like the two coolest dudes in the entire world. Like, forget Christian music. They're amazing people. And Lecrae was on our bus. We got it hooked up so that him and his band were on our bus. And so we're hanging out with Lecrae, and this lady sends him a Lego version of his video. And he said, oh, you know, he laughs and chuckles. He's like, that's cute, but I will never use anything like that. And he, you know, we're like, oh, that's too nerdy for Lecrae or whatever. You know, it's a little too silly. And I said, that's perfect for Sidewalk Prophets. And so Lecrae gave us the lady's contact info, and she was her and her kids were a big fan of our band. And we said, we got the perfect song for you. Chuck Norris is in it. Darth Vader's in the song. It's called Love, Love, Love. We wrote it with Matthew West. And she said her and her kids spent 5 days of like 8 hours a day making Sidewalk Prophet Legos and Chuck Norris Legos and Darth Vader, and they put that. They filmed all that stop motion animation for our video for Love, 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 and we play it even on the Matt West tour. You'll get to see our Love, Love, Love Lego video. So
nice, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it. The 27th, I'll be at the Indianapolis show, and
awesome.
Man, definitely looking forward to seeing you guys again. And it should be a good show. I'm pumped.
Awesome.
I'm pumped.
Well, yeah, looking forward to seeing you too, and it's gonna be a fun night, man. I'm excited, like you said, to go back home, man.